What a time to be a gamer. GTA 6 is eventually coming, Starfield, Spider-Man 2, Hogwarts Legacy, we could go on and on. Baldur's Gate, it just doesn't stop. Right now is a very special time in gaming. And it's also a very special time because of Assassin's Creed. I am a huge Assassin's Creed fan from the beginning. The ups, the downs, the peaks, the valleys, the good, the bad. It's been on this ridiculous up and down ride throughout the last decade or so. The series was one of the highlights of the Xbox 360 era because of games like Assassin's Creed 2, the AC Brotherhood. But once we got to Unity and Syndicate, things started to go downhill. Now, the reboot AC Trilogy, Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla was a nice change of pace. For me, it refreshed a lot of people's interest in the franchise. I know it wasn't everybody's cup of tea, but by the time Valhalla came around, people were ready for something more classic to the franchise. Valhalla was heavily criticized for being bloated and overly long. So along comes Assassin's Creed Mirage. Did its best to get things back to basics with a smaller scale and a dedication to stealth-based gameplay. But Ubisoft's plans for the future of the franchise are much bigger than what Mirage had to offer. Today, it's all about Assassin's Creed Japan. We have new news, leaks, rumors, updates, and we are going to go over everything. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Chaos here. If you enjoy Assassin's Creed, if you enjoy this content, drop a like. Now, in case you didn't know, there are roughly a dozen Assassin's Creed games in development right now. You heard me right, around 12. 12 games in the pipeline. And the next big one on the release schedule is codenamed Red. It takes place in a massive open world version of ancient Japan. You get to play as a ninja, an assassin ninja. Now, one of the biggest criticisms of the open world Assassin's Creed games has been the lack of stealth-based combat. But since the new game is going to literally have you playing as a ninja, it's going to be that perfect middle ground between the old and the new Assassin's Creed design philosophy. Plus, Assassin's Creed ninjas, it's a match made in heaven. And the brief trailer Ubisoft released of a ninja with a hidden blade is one of the most effective video game teasers I've ever seen. Now let's talk about leaks. Tom Henderson recently published a massive inside report on the game covering absolutely everything that we know about it. And after giving it a read, I'm excited. According to Henderson, Ubisoft is targeting a holiday 2024 release date for the Assassin's Creed Ninja game, and while some have been worried about a delay, Henderson claims the game is fully playable now, and he's expecting a big update from Ubisoft in early 2024. He also reported that Assassin's Creed Red is going to have two playable characters, a male samurai and a female shinobi. Now, the male character is going to be based on the real-world first African samurai to serve Japan in the late 1500s. It's unknown if the female shinobi character is going to be based on someone from real history, but it is believed the two characters are going to have very different play styles, with the male samurai being more reliant on heavy attacks and brute force, while the female is more about stealth and agility than direct assault. The two characters will provide wildly different gameplay experiences because of the difference in traits and weaponry, which is likely going to encourage multiple playthroughs. It's also believed that the stealth in Assassin's Creed Red is actually going to be inspired by the Splinter Cell games as opposed to the previous Assassin's Creed games, it's interesting. Sounds like Ubisoft want to reinvent the idea of Assassin's Creed stealth mechanics with this new game, as opposed to just trying to recapture the glory days, which I think I'm okay with. Assassin's Creed Mirage did its best to feel like a PS3 era AC game, but I think it's time for the series to truly grow and become an example of a great modern stealth game. I love the classic Assassin's Creed games, but it's time to evolve if they do it right. According to Henderson's report, AC Red is going to take inspiration from Splinter Cell, meaning you'll be able to use the shadows to conceal yourself, pick up enemy bodies to hide them somewhere and avoid being detected, and you'll be able to extinguish torches and use the darkness to alter the playing field, similar to how Splinter Cell games are if you've never played them. Shoot out the lights in a major part of the gameplay loop, all that. You'll also be able to break into just about anything that you could expect to be able to in real life, given the tools at your disposal. For example, your sword will be able to slash through screen doors to explore new areas. And presumably, things like chests and drawers will be able to be forced open if you have the right tool for the job. This is likely going to add a ton of replay value to the combat encounters. Now imagine, you spot a group of enemies, instead of just running right at them and killing them one by one, you cause distractions, you sneak around them, you destroy set pieces as obstructions, you use the entire map to your advantage instead of just using the predetermined set pieces. Sounds awesome. Perfect way to mix the world of ninjas and assassins, if you ask me. And I know there's always going to be people that just like to go head down, face first in. I get that. But now you have options. Now, granted, this doesn't really get much into what to expect from the samurai gameplay because, again, You seemingly won't have to take the stealthy ninja approach in the game since one of the characters is more focused on brute strength and taking enemies head first. So if I had to guess, the developers are likely going to take influence from the Ghost of Tsushima here, which is certainly a good thing. If you're going to take influence from anyone with your samurai gameplay, take it from Ghost. Henderson's report also confirms that Assassin's Creed Red is going to be the first AC game to ditch the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, meaning it's going to be Ubisoft's first truly next-gen entry in the franchise. And that comes with a lot of potentially exciting things. Mirage looked pretty, but it was obviously held back since it was built for both the 8th and the 9th generation platforms. But with Codename Red just being built for the PC, PS5, and Xbox series, that means Ubisoft can finally start going crazy with the graphics and the attention to detail that is afforded to them by leaving the old weak systems behind. So hopefully, this means we'll get a bunch of new character models, animations, cranked up graphical features, because with a setting like ancient Japan, Ubisoft could easily deliver one of the most breathtaking open world games to date. And yes, it has been confirmed that Codename Red is going to be open world. Now, Henderson didn't mention it in his report, but Ubisoft already described the game as the future of Ubisoft's open world RPG game. So if you're one of the people holding out hope it was going to be another old school Assassin's Creed game similar to Mirage, you're out of luck. It's going to be big. It's going to have dialogue choices, skill trees, and that, if that's a problem for you, I don't know. Me personally, I'm ready. I mean, I've said it a million times that Odyssey was one of my top games of all time. Now, as for how this is going to tie into Assassin's Creed Infinity's platform that Ubisoft has been working on, it's believed that Red will be the first game to actually launch through Infinity, but it's unclear what the actual launch dates are going to be. Is Infinity going to launch on the same day as Red, or is Infinity going to launch a little while earlier and have other AC games on it like Mirage and Valhalla? Ubisoft really wants Assassin's Creed Infinity to be a content-filled franchise hub, but just because Codename Red is the first new game to be part of the system, that doesn't mean the system isn't going to launch before it. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Infinity ends up launching less than a month before Codename Red. That way, the servers are prepped. I mean, then again, Ubisoft may want to keep the launch simple, not risk overwhelming people, which would likely result in Codename Red and Infinity launching at the same time, and Ubisoft simply having to be confident that their servers aren't going to get fried. If the Infinity platform also comes with strings like forcing players to have an internet connection at all times in order to play Assassin's Creed, they really need to make sure the servers are ready, because if Codename Red comes out and people can't play it because these servers are down, you already know. Ubisoft has gotten in a lot of hot water with their live service tactics over the last few years, and the last thing they need is for a single-player RPG to be unplayable because they insisted to a live service franchise hub. Now, Henderson mentioned he's expecting more official information about the game to come out in early 2024, which makes sense, because a lot of major game publishers like to do big showcases early in the year to show off what they're working on and what people can expect in the next 10 to 12 months. The first trailer of Assassin's Creed Red was released in September of 2022. But since then, nothing. Nada. So if you ask me, Ubisoft is going to give us a new trailer along with the official title and release window at one of the early 2024 gaming showcases. This should be where we get a better understanding of what Assassin's Creed Infinity is going to do and how it's going to tie in to everything. There you have it. Assassin's Creed Japan. Who's ready? Who's excited? Give me your thoughts.